Hello, friends and fellow clean freaks. My name's Andy, and I help clean and organize my neighbors' homes for free. Today I'm helping my neighbor, a single mom of 3, clean her apartment. I'm tackling 4 areas total, including each of her kids' rooms, her dining room, and a small area of her kitchen that proves to be hiding a very exciting surprise. I won't keep you in suspense. It's mice. Come along with me as we do a good deed. So I start in the son's room, and I have to be honest, when I was first connected with my neighbor, I was a little hesitant because it was via her mom. I try to take a very non-judgmental approach to these cleanings since I know everyone goes through difficult times, and especially living in Chicago and America right now, kindness is the vibe. So I told this woman that if her daughter needed my help, she had to be the one to ask for it because I don't like to go somewhere where I'm not wanted. So her daughter did end up reaching out to me and sending me photos and telling me a little bit about what she needed. And my first thought when I saw the photos, especially of the kids' rooms, I thought, well, just tell your kids to clean up. Tell your kids to clean their damn rooms. But as I looked closely at the photos, I had a sneaking suspicion that these kids didn't really have any place to put their belongings. They didn't have systems in place. And so I took the job. And I'm glad I did. And so as I go into this kid's room, the very first thing I do is obviously just work to see the floor. I start by picking up trash, which was a lot of used Kleenex and tissue, just dozens and dozens of wadded tissue hiding behind the bed. This kid's like 7 or 8 years old. I have no idea what this was about, but we picked up all the trash, and then we just followed my tried and true method of putting like things with like things. When a space is overwhelmed and really cluttered and you just don't know where to start, that's how I do it pretty much every time. Get rid of obvious trash and then start to categorize things, put them in piles or bins, just so you can start to learn the space and see what you have. Especially for me, I don't know my neighbors. This is all a process where they contact me on Facebook and then I show up. And so I don't know what I'm going to find until I find it. So working in this way, I put all the Legos with Legos, all the dinosaurs with other dinosaurs, that type of thing. And pretty quickly you see some significant change. Now, I love Legos. I'm a big Lego fan. And so seeing all of these sets mismatched and some minifigures broken on the floor kind of broke my heart. But this kid's, like I said, 7 or 8 years old, probably not ever going to put those sets back together again. So they all went in one big bin, and he can sort that out later if he wants. Now, while I was cleaning, I did mention to his mom that just like books go on a bookshelf, toys need a place to go. And she had a couple loose bins, but he really needed like some kind of toy chest or set of drawers where he could organize his toys. And luckily, we found this really nifty pull-out rack, which we were able to put all his toys in for now. And this is great. And I just encouraged her to go further with this, working with her kids. You know, they have totally empty closets. They need some kind of system that's within their reach where they can easily put things away and keep track of them. I recommended taking them to the Dollar Tree, maybe letting them pick out some bins on their own that they like so they can start to get invested in their own space and taking care of their stuff. And it's a really easy way to upgrade these areas without breaking the bank and spending a lot of money. Once I was able to see the floor, I took a broom and I vacuumed and I mopped, and then I headed to her daughter's room while the bedding was being washed. What you don't see is that her parents and her were off camera helping clean up areas of the kitchen and doing laundry and cleaning the bathroom while I took care of these spaces. Fun fact, the girls had a similar Kleenex problem to their brother, so there's definitely something going on there. Now, the girls are a little bit older and they share a room, and while they are also clearly could use a lesson in picking up after themselves, they had a lot less toys and stuff in general, so this was a much faster cleanup. I could see on their shelves, on their desk, on their dresser, though, that the girls were trying their best to group their belongings. Things like nail polish was all together in a little cluster on the bookshelf. And so, again, I used this as an example to show my neighbor how her kids are maybe wanting to get organized and doing the best with what they have, but they just need her help in getting systems in place, right? Bins, totes, containers, things like that. Now, I'm doing these cleanings totally free, and I'm only at this apartment for about 4 hours, so I try to make long-term impact because that's really my goal with this project and with this channel. I don't just want to clean someone's house. I want to improve their life and give them systems, methodology, things that work for them with what they're already naturally doing. My hope is that that reduces their stress and helps them keep things neat and organized by default. I can't really know if they're going to keep up with cleaning and organizing. I don't know if they're going to do their homework, but I also can't lose sleep over that. People are going to do what they do. I can only make recommendations while I'm there. And none of the kids were home during the time I was cleaning, so I'm hoping they all got to come home to a really nice surprise. So with the kids' rooms done, the next area I tackle is the dining room, which just had piles of clothes on the table to be sorted, but I focused my attention on this back corner. This was their family board game and craft corner, a place where they were supposed to be able to come together and just create or play, and it had just gotten neglected and really was no longer being used in that way because of it. So my goal was to go through the pile, get rid of any trash, old papers, magazines, just paper builds up so quickly, any abandoned art projects that were not going to be missed, stuff that didn't belong there, things like toys, toiletries, random hair ties, books, dishes. This seems really simple to a lot of people to put that kind of stuff away, but it isn't easy for everyone. Not everybody has that mindset. A lot of my neighbors are just overwhelmed and they don't know where to start. They're also sometimes unmotivated, and I can tell when I'm there, whether it's out of guilt or genuine enthusiasm, they get up and they start tackling their mess with me. Often they go to a different area, have their own project in mind, but they are actively cleaning and sorting something while I'm there. So I like that I can provide that motivation for them. And that motivates me in turn to leave a nice wow factor transformation before I leave. Once I have that done, I move into the kitchen, which was pretty clean and organized overall. This was not a house that was like filthy or like hoarded to any degree. The floors were clear. This place was just, again, a mom with 3 kids who had fallen behind and whose kids don't yet have the skills to clean up after themselves. Really, the only area of the kitchen I was focused on is this tiny corner that had gotten a little out of control and needed some attention. And before I could start that, I was just checking out this nearby cabinet to see if I could fit these paper towels in there, and I discovered it is stuffed to the brim with plastic bags. Not only that, but when I start to pull out the bags, it starts to rain down mouse droppings. As you can imagine, this is kind of a nightmare to have to share with someone that they have a pest in their house, and that all of these bags, of course, need to be thrown away since they're contaminated, and I need to vacuum and clean this whole area and see what can be done about the rodents. So I pull all these out, I throw them away, I vacuum up the droppings, I spray everything down, wipe it all down. And my neighbor, when I told her, she wasn't totally surprised because she had noticed a few droppings here and there. So she thought there might be a mouse somewhere, but she had no idea that she had created kind of a nest for them in this cabinet. That was definitely a shock. So hopefully by cleaning this out, she can take some steps to get rid of the mice. So once that's done, I pull out this prep station, I sweep up and dust everything off the floor back there, which were some rags that had fallen on the floor, which again, I saw some mouse droppings. So all of that was just thrown away as well. And I wipe down the cart, I get everything neat and tidy, and here's the end result. For 4 hours of free labor, I feel pretty good about the cleaning and organizing I accomplished in these areas, and I hope I made a great positive impact on my neighbors day to day, and I hope our kids are excited to see their rooms. And just like that, I'm on to my next neighbor's house. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next cleanup.